to me, I always say the culture is Black culture. And I feel the same way about music. Do you feel like heavily influenced by Blackness when it comes to the music that you create?
Of course. There is no way to separate the influence that Black music and Black culture has had on me as an artist. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Tell it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying there's no way to quantify it. It has been the R&B music. I understand that. I don't take it.
But you are an R&B artist. Do you feel that way?
I consider myself a soul singer.
Okay.
I understand the history of R&B music. It used to be called race music. I know that it was something that, has a lot of historical implications. So the being embraced by Black people isn't something that I expect or something that I take for granted, because I know that it's clear where my influences come from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we hear it.
And it's not out of nowhere.
I love to hear that, JoJo, because we do embrace you so fully. Even when you were a teenager back in the day and singing love songs, like, we've always held you in a different space in our hearts. And I've always wondered, like, how do white artists too feel so connected to Blackness? How do they feel about that? Is it something that feels like, is it a strain for you? Is it something that feels...
Well, let me clarify. I don't feel connected to Blackness. I'm a white person.
We are connected to you,
but
I understand.
I'm like, I'm not a Rachel
like,
Wilson
no.
song. I don't feel connected to Blackness. But I...
No, I know.
But I feel adjacent to, and I feel that my experience has been so deeply interwoven with the Black people who have changed my life and shaped me as a person, as being who I am. I was signed to a Black-owned and operated record label. That was who signed me and who started Aaliyah's career. And when I was 12 years old, these were my father figures, my uncle figures. This was my family. So I can't overstate how much those people changed my life. I came from a very humble background. These people gave me money, opportunity. It's a story that you don't hear that often, So, so my perspective is maybe a little unique to my situation.
Yeah, well, see, that's why we love you, because you don't deny it, but you also appreciate, and you show that it's an appreciation.
Yeah,
vocally, it's insane. Like,
I mean, I love earnestness. I love soul, and I think that that's why two genres that really influence me are R&B and folk. So, yes, like, I love, Anita Baker and Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, all the way to Aretha Franklin, Etta James. And then I also really love Joni Mitchell and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I love storytellers and people who I really feel are telling the truth.
Right.
So that crosses genre. You know what I mean? It's not that I'm just interested in one particular thing. I just like things that make me feel. So.
That's good. And you do make us feel. Y'all, if you haven't gotten yourselves that Good to Know album from our girl JoJo,
go get it.
Do yourselves, cheers, queen. Do yourself a favor and go get it. It's right there on the Spotify. Just download it. I've been listening to Gold. I think I've listened already like 20, 24, 25 times.
So you know what? I just found out, like, apparently it's better if you stream it. So I love that people are like, showing me the love and downloading it, but go stream it. Actually, I guess streams are better than downloads. I didn't know that.
I didn't know the difference. I usually download when I like it.
Me too. I download when I like it, but it's better for the artist apparently
just to
when
be
you stream it. But I don't even get it. But maybe it's because I'm a millennial. Maybe 17-year-olds know.
Child, I don't even know. If you need to play, just let it play overnight.
Let it play overnight. Exactly.
Give JoJo her streams. You deserve JoJo, because like I said in the intro, we know that you dealt with a lot, and a lot of artists, that is the story of a lot of artists that deal with label drama, not getting their money, or however the story goes. And you've been able to get out of all of that. and be who you are now. Is that like the biggest lesson that you've learned so far in the music industry, is how to deal with labels?
No, no, that's not the biggest lesson I've learned. And I don't really, I think I'm getting a little twisted right now. So I don't know. I'm
Don't
gonna be
pop
like, no,
out,
that's not the
JoJo.
biggest thing I've learned.
Or pop out, JoJo, letting people know what they need to know.
No, honestly, every artist has their own cautionary tale probably, or their own thing
Yeah.
that they've been through. And my situation was unique because I was signed to a small label that eventually lost their ability to function, but they wouldn't let me go. So I wasn't able to put out music at all. You know what I mean? Able to make a living off of what I had started doing as a little girl. And that was crazy. So it wasn't just that I was like fighting for my artistic control. I actually didn't even care at a certain point. I was like, tell me what you want me to do, I will do it. Tell me who you want me to be, I will be that. Because I just want to, because I don't come from a background to where I can just like, oh, I'm just gonna go chill at my parents', house and just like go recline. I don't get to just go recline. Like there's a misconception sometimes just because things look a certain way. Nah, I have to create a life for myself. So I just became very determined to make things work. And so I think that one of my biggest lessons, one of the things I've learned is that boundaries are so important. And if you don't stand for something, you're a lot more susceptible to be taken in all these different directions. And there's no satisfaction in that. You can't, you have to determine like what sword you're going to fall on and what you're going to represent. And you can't let anybody else make that decision for you. Nobody knows what's right for you except for you. So.
And how do you know? How do you have that discernment about what's right? Like, how
because I'm 29. Because I made it.
I am grown.
I made it through my 20s. I survived. Like, I think that you win when you don't give up. Period.
Yeah,
period. Like, you get to choose what punctuation comes at the end of your sentence. You think it's a period? You think it's an exclamation point? Is it a question? Is it a comma?
Is it an asterisk? Seymour?
You get to decide. So that's it. We have more, like I said, we just have to focus on what we can control. Sometimes it feels like absolutely nothing is in our control. And the only thing is our mindset. And even if it seems like we're in hell, and I know a lot of people are really deeply, deeply going through and things that I can't even imagine right now.
Right.
But you do have your perspective. You do have control over your own mind. That's just all I would say.
That's hella powerful, JoJo, for real. That's some life coaching right there.
I mean, with all the self-help books that I've read in the past few years and all the therapy that I've done, I better have some good quotes to drop down at this point.
Listen, but you got to pull from it because life is a lot of moving parts. And when you're trying to be something, there's always going to be things that get in the way of that. It's not an easy street.
No one is exempt from the struggle, period. No one is exempt from the struggle. Like even those who seem like they have, a golden rocket ship up their ass. And it's just like, wow, look at your ascent. Look at the way that you've just climbed up and like everything's been easy. Life isn't easy for them either. Like we never really know. So we just have to keep that in mind.
I feel that, JoJo. You on your pulpit, honey. You better preach on tonight. I love to hear that. Let's keep going. I want to talk about success because you've had a lot of ebbs and flows, and like you said, you can control the things that are in here. But what do you qualify success as, and what does that look like for you?
Success now feels to me like evolution, like being able to count the little victories and improvements as markers of growth and feeling like, that personal achievement. But also for me, with releasing this album, it's very important to me that people dig it. When honestly, nobody can tell me anything from here on out because Mariah Carey told me that she liked my album and she told her fans to go listen to it. So that's it.
You don't need us.
I win, period.
Listen, I saw you with Mariah. And I said, wow, look at our girl.
No,
You
I
did the
mean,
background vocals.
success is being able to live in the moment and appreciate what you have. I think success is and gratitude are inextricably linked.
Mm, yeah. Gratitude is a practice. Do you practice?
Yes, I do. I do every day. Got to humble myself, and uh, some days are easier than others. But I'm feeling hella grateful today. Yeah.
I love it. Listen, you have to stay in the practice. I'm curious about, because you mentioned Mariah. What have been some of those moments in your career that you've just been like, oh my God, how did I'm in this room? Like, what's going on here?
A lot of moments like that. Working with Timbaland and Pharrell and, producers that I grew up idolizing and dreaming of creating with, that I had the opportunity to do that. Even being in with Jermaine Dupri and Brian Michael Cox last year, I definitely made the pilgrimage to So So Def when I was starting to work on the album in Atlanta. And that's priceless conversation and insight. And,
Yeah.
so I always feel blessed to be in situations like that. But when I put out my first album, Whitney Houston and her daughter sent flowers to my dressing room um, in New York and wrote me a beautiful note.
Wow.
And Whitney like sang a little bit of my song on TV, and that is something that I'll,
That's so good.
I will never be able to get over that. How can I? That's Whitney
The
and
greatest singer of all time.
Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey acknowledging my sheer existence makes me, it humbles me, but it also makes me feel like, ha ha ha, you can't say shit. It's just incredible. It's just incredible.
The duality of it all. You're like, it humbles me. It makes me feel,
but that,
really grateful.
That's
but
ego. But bitch. Yeah.
You are allowed to feel both of those things with that kind of result, because I don't know how many people could actually be like, well, Whitney and Mariah love my music. So
it's trippy. So I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
God, I love that for you.
Are you in New York, by the way? Where are you?
I am. I'm in Brooklyn.
How is that? Because I feel like New York is a totally different experience than being in LA. Because LA, we have a little bit more space. Like nobody moves to New York to stay in their apartment. I know that.
No, your apartment is like a little bit of least of your worries.
Exactly.
Because you're never in it except to sleep when you live in New York. But now being in it, I'm just like, okay, God, I'm very grateful because I have my own place. But it's still I'm still like this. But I have outdoor space.
Oh,
So
good.
that's nice. And I use that. But like Brooklyn, I still don't know if they get it. Like,
are people still going out and just like acting? Really?
Yeah, like sometimes I'll go up to the roof and I'll look and like people are out and about. I saw a preacher. He was in one of these like vans with the LCD screen on the side.
Well, of course, you can't. I mean, he's not going to stop.
He was like, "Well, I gotta keep preaching this word."
You gonna get this word.
I mean, he was doing it safely. He didn't have no congregation. It was just him and his little truck.
That's
but like it's still people are out and about. There's an ice cream store, a Caribbean ice cream store on my block. Yeah, girl, it's serious. Very serious.
Oh, good.
If you know, you know. Flatbush, if you know, you know. But that ice cream store has not closed.
Okay. Well, they're essential, apparently.
Like the bodega, I get it.
Yeah.
But the ice cream store, I was like, yo, Brooklyn is really like, what pandemic? I mean, now people are really serious about the mask and wearing that and everything. But like for the
California is starting to reopen.
We are not ready.
New York's not ready.
We're not ready as a whole. My basic understanding of viruses is that it's very easy to spread.
It's still a bit mysterious to me. So I'm just
I don't think we have all the answers, which is why in the beginning, a lot of folks were just kind of like, I don't know, I can go to the grocery store because that's a safe zone. And it's like,
it is not a safe zone, that's a cesspool.
Well, it's kind of the same as like just being out. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, and I'm staying away.
Right.
I ain't got time for the Ronas to be all up in me.
Nope.
So I'm staying away. I'm staying quarantined. It's been, I think 50, 54, 55 days.
Okay. Yeah, I feel as though, and this might be incorrect, but I feel as though I've been in here for about 70 days. So I don't know. I'm losing it though. I'll tell you.
70?
I don't know. It feels like it. It's
I was
been
about to say, JoJo, you started early. I
no, no, no.
started like second week of March.
Second week of March. Yeah, that sounds about right. It's when I released my single. It's when I released Man
Oh,
that
so
like
yeah.
like the video came out and we celebrated, like me and my team, people at the label, we went out, had a real cute dinner, and then it was like bloop, lockdown.
That was it. Damn. So how is that even? Because you put the album out in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah,
I mean, we can listen to it anywhere.
exactly. So my career has already been, sprinkled with things, with setbacks or like industry moving chairs and different things, and I didn't want this to be another thing like that. I mean, this is something that we're collectively going through. It didn't make sense to me to hold the album back during a time like this where I know my fans would love to have some music right now. We're all chilling. Like, I just, it kind of felt like a good time for people to hear, particularly this body of work. So obviously, because it's thinking about my album, I was like, well, this album is about wanting to escape yourself and wanting to get out of your mind. And a lot of us want to do that right now.
Exactly. Well, it's about a lot of things, JoJo. You're kind of nasty on some of the songs.
I'm kind of a nasty bitch. I can't lie.
You can't be doing stuff like that when I'm sitting. I can't do a spit take on the Instagram. You nasty JoJo.
Whatever, yo.
I love it though. Y'all. Our JoJo. She's grown. She grown. She's nasty, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm definitely talking a little bit of shit on this album.
You really
actually a lot.
Exactly what I said.
I was a little nervous to put it out. I definitely wasn't nervous to write the way that I wrote, but to put it out, I was like, God, people are really gonna get to know me here.
It's sexy AF. And if people are still holding on to you being 14, then this is really the time. First of all, weird. Weird. Now is the time to let that go because our JoJo is a woman.
Correct.
And she's talking some grown woman stuff. So you wrote everything?
Yeah.
JoJo.
I mean, like Gold, your favorite song, Gold, that was sent to me. But besides that, everything is right directly from me.
So you are a songwriter.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wrote on my first album. I wrote Keep On Keeping On at 12 years old, which is so weird. I was actually talking to someone earlier today, and they were like, what is the first song you wrote? And I was like, I don't even remember that. But the first song I had published was Keep On Keeping On. And the words of that song in the chorus were like, you got to keep on keeping on. You got to keep your head up high, work with what you've got, and someday you will fly. I wrote that at 12. I was like, who was I?
Profoundness.
What? That's such a...
Well, when you're 12, you're going through everything.
I was going through everything.
Everything is the end of the world when you're 12. You're like, he doesn't like me? But JoJo was like, oh.
Hold on.
I will write it. I love that. That means that your brain works different as an artist. So now are you more connected to the whole experience of being an artist, of like, I'm going to write this. I want this type of input on my music. Are you that hands-on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm super hands-on, but I'm also collaborative. I'm not somebody who thinks that they have expertise in every area. Like, I loved creating this album artwork, but being
it's pretty. I love it.
Collaborative with Mahalo, my guy up in Toronto, and with working with producers, because I don't produce. I do lyrics and melody and vocal arrangement, and I sing, and that's what I've really honed in on. But to take it all the way to the finish line, I need great production and great musicality. So I like to work with those people who help me see that vision all the way through. So I know how I want something to feel, but collaborating is still a really important part of things. Like, I don't ever see myself being like, I produced it, engineered it. I did the
A
arrangement.
one-woman show.
Yeah, I mean that's freaking dope. But I get a lot out of collaboration.
Got you. Now, I also see that you put out visuals of like the making of, which is really cool to see, like how you're putting this all together, and you're releasing it like episodically. If that's a word.
Yep, that's the word. Yeah.
And you're running it that way. What made you decide to share those aspects, those behind the scenes moments?
I just remember watching behind the scenes of Christina Aguilera's making of like her first album, and how much that meant to me as a young girl, watching her go through that process and put things together, and I loved it. So I wanted to chronicle this process. Also, I had watched, Amy Winehouse's documentary, and I'm like, where was all that footage? Like, people were just on flies on the wall. Like, this was amazing stuff. So I wanted to make sure that whatever happens with, I wanted to make sure that this time in my life was chronicled. So
I love it. I think it's such a cool way of us seeing and getting to know you better too, as a grown ass woman. I love how like you're such a perfectionist. What's your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Because they say the Virgos are the perfectionists, but like
That's
nobody
true.
else can be
I mean,
that.
Virgos,
But
live in their minds, right? That's what we say about Virgos. But Sagittarius, we are the truth seekers of the zodiac, which is why I have this truth tattoo right
that's
here.
cute.
So like when I'm sitting here on a date or whatever, they're like, oh, truth. Yeah, truth. But
Subliminal.
we're always seeking forward motion and truth.
Got you. I love that because we really get to see it. You were like, no, I want to lay this vocal down. I'm going to do it over again if I don't like it. Do you exhaust yourself with that perfectionism, or you're just like, nah, this is how it is?
No, my perfectionism is something that is,
baby.
this is Agape. She just came, I just guess she just woke up from a nap. But perfectionism isn't a great thing, and it's something that I want to break and work on, because I think sometimes it can get in the way of a raw expression. So yeah, it's something that I have to overcome. When I just released an episode of the Making of Good to Know today, where we're kind of talking about that.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just need to get out of my own way. So like I'll do a take of a song, and I'll realize that I was trying too hard, or I was trying to be perfect. And then I'll do it again, and I'll be like, what is it that I'm in my way of? Like, what is it that I'm trying to protect myself from? What is it that I'm trying to, and sometimes it takes me hours to get out of my own way. Does that make sense?
Hours. I'm impressed. Talk about, does that make sense? JoJo, sometimes it's taken me years to get out of my own way.
Right.
I had a situation today where I had to get out of my own way, and it takes a lot of humility to even realize that it's you. Girl, trust me. I know those lessons. It is not easy. How did you get here, JoJo? You feel so centered and well adjusted.
Wow, thanks. I don't know about that. It's like you said.
You're like, I'm a crazy person.
I'm a mess. I am dedicated to growing. Like I really want, I think accountability is one of the cornerstones of who I am. And yeah, I have done a lot of work, uncomfortable shit. That's really what brought this.
Uncomfortable.
That's what contributed to a lot of this album, like having to look at myself and be like, yo, you be fucking up. Or I mean more in personal relationships. Like
right.
I have toxic patterns that I've engaged in, and
damn, JoJo, you toxic too?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your most toxic trait, you think?
I for so long, I'm not saying I'm above this, you know, but I have certainly sought validation outside of myself and looked for acceptance when I didn't accept myself, you know, looked for, you know, whether it's from a lover, a manager, the world, whatever the case is, it not healthy.
That is not healthy. How do you get to the point of, I guess I could call it self-validation? How do you get to that point? Because I feel like validation is healthy when it's you giving it to you.
Yeah, look, I'm no guru. I have no idea what I'm doing, just FYI. So sometimes I feel like a little,
I
I don't
think
know.
it's nice to hear things from people we celebrate. You know, it's
I
nice
think
to hear how you got there.
again, it is a practice, and I'm trying to figure it out every day. But now I have these practices in place. Like, have you ever read the book The Artist's Way?
No, I've heard that I need to.
I really recommend it. Maybe this is a
Okay.
sign, a
Yeah,
confirmation that
I'm gonna get it now. Let me put it in my Amazon.
something I do every day is I write 3 pages of stream of consciousness, and
Oh, I love.
so that's one thing that I do. So I do a little meditation. I do my brain drain, like stream of consciousness writing, and I do what I say I'm going to do. Like for the most part. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't live up to that.
That's self-integrity.
But for the most part, yes, being a person of integrity, honoring my commitments, and improving in ways that I can like see and feel, that's validating to me. Also, seeing the long-term commitment that I've made to my career, and then, you know, having R&B Song of the Year at the Grammys with PJ this year, 15 years into my career. It's this long-term commitment that has paid off for me in a way that's very satisfying. So that's validating and
I love
vindicating.
that. No, I love that. Thank you. Because I keep asking these type of soulful questions. I didn't even mean to go into all those type of things, but it's because I feel like you are doing the work currently. So
I'm
it's
very
really nice.
I am. I'm earnestly doing the work. I really want to be somebody that I'm proud of, and
Oh,
I'm not just focused on. Look, if I were in this for fame, I would have made a lot of different decisions with my life. I had a lot of opportunities to do some wild, just some shit that doesn't resonate with me. You know what I
right.
mean? So yeah, someone said JoJo's going for a legacy. That's correct. I'm building a legacy.
Ooh. Okay, Queen, we love to hear that. Think of the future. Think of the future. Well, JoJo, before I get into more questions, and I see that the question tab is blowing up, honey. We got some in there that I would love to touch on. And before we get out of here, I told your label that I was going to be asking you to sing, and they were like, "Oh, she loves it." She loves singing. So I did this with Cynthia Erivo, and we
Ooh,
created vocally, girl, vocally.
wow,
Think about it.
wow.
I did this with her mostly for myself because her voice is so amazing, and I just want to hear her sing things. I want the same from you because I love your voice. So if we can create a short little mixtape of motivation and light that people need right now in this weird time that we're in, what kind of songs could we put on it? And then I'm going to ask you to sing a little.
A mixed like songs that feel inspired.
Uplifting, yeah, you're uplifting, your inspired playlist.
Wow.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna throw out Mariah Carey, "Make It Happen" to get you
Oh,
started.
what a great idea! Oh, get down on your knees and night and pray to the Lord. He's gonna make it happen. Make it happen. Yes! More than 3 short years ago, I was abandoned alone without a penny to money. So very young and suffering. Hey! Love it.
That's my number
Okay,
one actually motivational song. It's the top of
that's a
my
great one.
playlist.
Another Mimi one that we have to add is definitely Hero, because you can
Huh?
own. She said, "It's a long road if you face the world alone." Woo! Yes.
JoJo, don't stop there. The goosebumps just emerged.
Let's see. How about Stevie? Don't You Worry About a Thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Uh, don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. La 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 la. Did I just change keys? I don't want to. I
You
can't.
did. But
I
it's
tried
all right.
it. Don't have me drinking and then trying to sing. I never do that.
I know, irresponsible, but we love it.
Let's see. Another song for that feel good vibe.
That's a good one.
I don't know. I can't think on my feet anymore. Oh, someone said "Sweet Thing" by Shaka Khan. That's a good one. Hey, Portia.
Sweet Thing, but if you really listen to them lyrics, I got sad for Shaka. She said, "I would love you anyway, even if you cannot stay."
No. I'm only what you make me, baby. No.
Like,
I'm not only what you make.
Don't want your mind, don't want your money. I want both of those items.
I want both of those items.
I would like both your mind and your money. But
these words, they may sound funny.
That's because she was in love, and we was like, wait a minute, sis.
Hold on, but you know what is a good one for that motivation that is Shaka though is "Through the Fire."
Yes.
Through the fire, through the limit, through the wall. Or choice. Oh, but it's still about like risking it all for love. That's cool though. You could use that for anything.
You know, women tend to do that in songs.
And then lastly, I'm gonna plug my own shit. You need to listen to let's see, "The High Road" by JoJo. "Keep on Keeping On" by me.
That's it. That's the one.
I Am. And what's another? I mean, Man is great for feeling, just getting comfortable on your own. And
that's a good one. That's on the Good to Know, y'all.
That's on the Good to Know, yes.
I'm with it. If you have a lot of your fans in here, so I already know somebody curate that, put it on Spotify. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a good one, JoJo. I love. What'd you say?
No, my girl Portia, my makeup artist in New York. Do you know Portia too?
Yeah, of course I know Portia. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Portia.
she's in and Gold is her song too. So you guys are in the same class. Yeah.
No, I love it. I love seeing my friends pop up. I always want to shout them out, but people be talking, so I don't want to be like, "Hey, Gia."
I know. I'm just reckless over here. Like, oh, hey, girl.
I'm gonna hit this because I see a lot of questions, and I don't want to lose you without getting some of them in here. I love this one because someone said the JoJo's after a legacy. So what is that legacy, JoJo?
I want my legacy to be that of continuous evolution, growth, expansion. I want to be integral in other artists' careers. I want to start signing really meaningful artists to my label. I have an imprint. I have a label called Clover, and we have a partnership with Warner Music.
Congratulations, music mogul.
Thank you. So yeah, I really want to step into that part of my career, and I want to be a light.
You want to be? JoJo, let's lay down, flip it, and reverse it. JoJo, let's lay down, flip it, and reverse it. You are a light, sis. It didn't even let me save it. So we don't even have any of that.
It's as if it was all a dream.
If they were there, they were supposed to be there.
Damn. Oh, that sucks. This was a fucking awesome hang. This was a great conversation.
Thank you, JoJo. That's what I'm saying. I'm very upset because
I feel like somebody had to have caught it.
I hope somebody did catch it. Your fans love you, so maybe they did. If you're a JoJo fan who screenshotted the entire interview, please let me know.
Yikes.
The thing is, I'm also creating a podcast around this. Okay. So I'm using the audio for the podcast. So there is no JoJo interview now.
Great.
Very wonderful. But that just means we'll talk later.
Right.
For the podcast. We'll do it again.
Yes.
But let's just finish it out for the Gram fam.
Is your screen totally paused, by the way? My shit is totally...
Yours is paused on my side.
What the hell?
What's happening? Lord, touch the screen.
Yeah,
I'm showing out and showing up. Why are there so many people requesting to be in here? Y'all know this is for JoJo. You guys, technology, you can't trust it. It's always going to embarrass you. I'm so sad. Please, if you guys let me know if you recorded the interview. If anybody screen recorded it, please let a player know. JoJo's going to come back. I think, here we go. So we can finish it out. Oh my gosh. Mateo Gregorio. I'm gonna pin this person because he says he screenshotted the whole thing.
Oh, God bless him.
So I'm gonna pin you, Mateo, and I will DM you when this is over. JoJo. We're gonna work it out. However,
what a time to be alive.
When you left, we were talking about the legacy, and you said that you want to be a light, and I was letting you know that you are.
Thank you.
So I just want people to know that you are a light. How are you going to maintain the light?
One day at a time.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
We love it. Listen, before this internet keeps acting crazy.
I know, because I see the spinning wheel of death.
Let me write down this man's screen name so that
that's a good idea.
Mateo Gregorio. No, Giorgio. Geo. Okay. Mateo, if you can hear me, I'm going to hit you up. JoJo, I think maybe we just call it.
I think we call it because your screen is frozen for me. So it was nice chatting with you. I will see you on the